So we define fintechs as those who touch the money or those who support the money, but in any given way, what we're trying to do is we try to bring them, embrace them in. We have a dedicated team within the innovation division that focuses on meeting with fintechs and startups within the ecosystem, identifying those who actually meet our criteria, and then trying to bring them in. We call that fintegration. And so far it's been very successful. We have quite a few startups already implemented and blended into the products that we introduced to the market.
Yeah, so really taking the ecosystem and innovation first approach on that. Now, one of the projects we worked on most recently, we're going to talk about innovation, is blockchain.
Sure.
And POC around blockchain, what we did. I'd love to hear, tell a little bit about what that project's been and what the partnerships look like.
So we had a cool idea around, blockchain is one of the disruptive technologies. We can put that and be buzzword compliant with all the other things that we hear about cryptocurrency and AI and VR and AR. But we really looked at blockchain as an enabler technology. And last year, or actually this year, 2017,
it's almost
into the future,
year,
yeah.
One more month.
So we looked at it and we said, listen, can we use and leverage this transformable technology within the solutions that we have in the bank? And as we were looking at those capabilities and we're trying to POC an idea that we have, we looked at a partner and we tried to find a partner that will embark on this journey with us, because we knew that regulators are not right there with us.
I see.
I mean, and we tried to find somebody who can enable us. We found that partnership, luckily within the Microsoft local account team over here, that actually were willing to pick up the challenge, and even though they didn't have at the time any expertise locally in-house here in Israel, they connected us with the R&D center over in Redmond. So the POC was around automizing and digitizing guarantees, banking guarantees, and minimizing a process that typically takes in Israel anywhere between several days into several weeks, into a matter of hours. And in order to do that, we took our developers and the Azure developers over in Redmond that are focused on a group that's called Microsoft Digital, that helped us create a POC environment for blockchain technology. And the thing that we liked the most was we didn't get any dictations, like you have to use this or that. It was, what do you want to use? Let's start working on it. And I found myself having developers on this side of the globe working on smart contracts, writing code, uploading it into GitHub, and then having Microsoft developers picking up the code, refining it, tweaking it, and then putting it back in. And we had a kind of 24/7 type of cycle, follow the sun, working on this project. And within a matter of months, we had something to show within the organization, which was phenomenal and amazing.
So really, you really took a partnership approach with coming together and saying, hey, let's brainstorm this and let's co-develop it effectively almost in terms of getting that POC done.
For sure, and it was very important for us because when we embarked on this journey, we really didn't know where we were going to end up. There was a lot of faith on both sides, and there was a lot of open discussion, there was a lot of openness into it. And as an example, when we were going through the cycle, we realized that we can take some of the Azure components and plug them in, make them snappable into the architecture that we're building. This is something that we didn't thought about, when we initiated the project. So if you want to take, identity elements, you can plug in Active Directory. You want security elements, you can plug in key management into it. And as we were designing the solution, we actually took advantage of the flexibility in there. And another thing that might sound kind of weird, typically when you go on an on-premise journey, you endlessly tweak your code to fit the environment that you created, right? You want to optimize it. We found ourselves in a situation where we're optimizing the infrastructure to make the most out of the code. So we're scaling up.
Gives you that flexibility.
Exactly. So we're scaling up memory and we're scaling up resources and some CPUs, and we're changing CPUs to GPUs, and we're seeing how that actually behaves with the code, and we're tweaking both sides to get the most optimum solution out there.
Now this was a pretty agile POC you did, and you started to bring up kind of what it would have looked like before. So, what would if you hadn't gone this approach and used Azure in this case and have that flexibility from the hardware? What would it have looked like? What you would have done normally?
So I think that my brother and IT executives over here in the room will testify to that. You have to budget first. You have to go to procurement. You have to go and acquire the hardware. You need to create the environment. You need to rack them and stack them and upload the OSs on them. And before you even start tweaking and writing the first line of code, there are months and months of back office work that needs to take place. And once you do that, and you really want to partner with somebody else, because eventually in the open environment, open API, open banking, you want to bring in partners, you need to figure out remote access, you need to figure out how you plug in your partners into that environment. Either you onboard people on-prem or you try to open up a connection outside. and it's a big challenge. So
That's just for the POC.
this is just for the POC. So I'm thinking, if I would guesstimate, we just shorten a process. And again, I'm emphasizing this is emerging technologies.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody knows, or at least when we started, we were really tinkering around with blockchain.
Yeah.
So taking something that will take us literally months and shortening it to a matter of weeks to like 1 or 2 months.
Amazing. That's great. Now, I know I talk to customers and they sometimes are like, well, I'm highly regulated, you're a bank, can I really use the cloud? You're obviously using Azure for this POC, but you have to do it responsibly. So what's been your approach to this?
So the way I see it, we're on a journey and we're driving,